That I should tell you, you're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. With me tonight is my partner Klops. So glad to have you with us in our final game of the professional season. It's iBUYPOWER versus OEF.org or Manajuma, however you'd like to refer to them, in a best of three or two best of threes. Here we go. Let's take a look at the opening for both teams, and specifically for the CTs actually on this round. More than likely you'd think that, oh, we should probably look at the Ts. No, it's gonna 2-1-2, 2-2-1s always fascinate me, or just a fast sprint out to long. Steel did not expect anybody to be up in his face like that, and Miniker, well, he says surprise. He says hello, and that opens the entire game. Skadoodle hits a nice one tap, a beautiful looking one that won't yield him more than one. Just kidding. Swag and Steel are what in the world? How did Miniker find him over the top of the smoke? There you go. There's a trade 2 versus 1, and Desi could even this up if he hits a nice headshot from the elevator, but AZK won't allow it. iBUYPOWER takes the pistol round on a T-sided map.
Yeah, you saw, I mean, wow, that looked like it was going in OEF's favor right there. They picked up 3 people with armor and then 4 flashbangs and 2 smokes, and, you know, they did the cascading flashes over long, and it looks like Steel just got completely caught by it. They got to get an entry, and they tried to keep pushing, but, you know, the rotates came from iBUYPOWER really quick since it was a 5-man rush, and they just couldn't connect the shots going into the last part of that round, and iBUYPOWER came out with it.
Really impressive first one tap from Skadoodle, which allowed him his accuracy to recover, allowed him to pick up that second kill. We have a 4-1 split to mid and banana. Oh my god, I almost... Swag just pushed through with the P90. Man, I think he just used echolocation all dolphin style.
Didn't even push through, just pushed up to the smoke and decided to spray through it.
I'm just gonna spray right here, and if you're there, you're gonna die. Sense made. Also, entry into B almost purchased. AZK won't allow it, and he's going to fight with one more teammate above him, Dazed, to knock down Desi. That's 2, and we're going to probably see a 3rd because we've had no bomb plan. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, this is this should be actually a pretty big surprise buy. You see, actually, iBUYPOWER isn't upgrading. Skadoodle actually going for that 3rd round op, so he's going to be ready for it. But, I mean, we see 2 Fomuses and a P90 still on Swag, so, I mean, they could do some damage here. And it looks like 3 of them are heading towards B. Might see a B wrap, but Skadoodle's in mid with that op, so this could be dangerous for OEF.
At this point, the surprise is gone. You can hear those guns, and especially Desi up close to the double doors, so everybody knows they have guns. The counter-terrorist team will now condense, and their positioning is going to change, especially the 2 Fomus players and the P90 player, and Skadoodle uncharacteristically misses a flick shot up and to the right. So 2-2 on the trade, Ska down, Irakanji down, Deborn down, Dazed down. 3 versus 3 remaining, and the bomb had free entry into bomb side B, but Shroud got spooked. And perhaps it's a bit of his inexperience or a bit of miscommunication, but they're about to walk back into a trap. They just spotted that catwalk player, and up on top, the number 7 man at the platform is going to fight him off. He's going to fight a one-on-one battle with AZK and avoid, hopefully, the man who's on his left at the car. Steel picks him up, so 2 versus 2.
Yeah, and Miniker sold that great. He got a kill as well, but he did a lot of damage to AZK, and it was a fake. They thought it was A, and look, 2 people in B, they got the bomb down, and now they have a good defensive hold on this.
It's hard to get back into this site. It's very, very hard, especially when you're trying to move and be mobile with an op. So AZK will try to move to the door, channel his previous success with an op in older games, and go old school AZK. He'll move to the door, steals in first, AK sprays to the big box, and he loses the fight. Transfers his spray, but no good. Shroud will not allow it. That's a bomb plant, and a surprise by win.
Yeah, they could have picked up that op as well, but Shroud was just a little bit too slow getting there. And yeah, they gave the op to AZK because he was actually at like 10, 15 health. So, you know, having to deal 1 shot is pretty much better than going in with the AK. And if you give that to Steel, who has more health, then you have a better chance. But unfortunately, AZK couldn't make anything happen with that op. And OEF just came out with a good surprise buy round right there.
So OEF is moving very, very quickly. Or specifically, Rakanji's doing the Sempis run through because he does not give a hoot. He's actually moved all the way to the top of the catwalk, but I think Desi just figured out that somebody still got a gun, and if they've got guns, then that means they probably all have guns, so we have to slow it down. We have to slow it down a lot. You got a 3-man stack in B. Information being gathered by this guy right here, Irakanji, who's sitting in CT thinking, well, I kind of have something here. Let's try to work let me see if I can get a rotator here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they start getting the noise baits up on Cat and start showing presence on Catwalk, then that number 2 man who is Dazed, he's going to swing out through mid and go CT spawn more than likely, and he'll get caught out by Irakanji.
He will. So we have a stalemate here in a very odd standoff. Very, very, very loose control for mid. iBUYPOWER sitting off, and they've sort of split themselves into two independent teams. Or they'll rejoin. They'll go back to their default now that they have the space unoccupied by Irakanji and CT Spawn, who had a P90, of course, trying to fight an M4A1 unsuccessfully. Long-range Galil versus M4A1 fight goes sour for Deborn, and this one begins to unravel. But the bomb plant is down, so no immediate ramifications for actions just yet. It's going to be a 5-man retake. iBUYPOWER, I think, will surge through CT. 3 of them. They're going to use these flashes to maybe slow them down just a little bit, do some damage. Dazed ate so much of that. And the first spray down by Shroud is no good. So 2 versus 5. Surely this is undoable. Now 1 versus 5. Miniker doesn't care. Miniker really doesn't care. He started this game really strong, though he took down 2. It's not going to be enough. That defuse be easy for Ska, and we have another round for iBUYPOWER. Look at the performance of Miniker thus far. The pistol round netted him 3, and since then he is the entire OEF team.
Yeah, he's been doing great with that early AK that he picked up. He did a lot of damage in that round, and he's just been doing a lot of work in this past round that we saw. But, I mean, that round could have been a lot cleaner. They did have cat control, and I thought they were going to move up and, you know, push the issue at A, which it would have been fine because Skadoodle was watching it from the cross, and all he had was a pistol, which they kind of should have known since he bought an op on the 3rd round. And I think that would have forced the rotate from Dazed over, and they would have got that easy kill. But either way, they got a little impatient right there.
Oh, Deborn tries to run away from the fragnate of Swag, and he won't let him escape, not with his USP. His partner up in crime at the top of the catwalk, Steel, will combine with him to drop a total of 4 terrorists. So Irakanji's the last one alive. He's the number 8. We'll go to him now. Yeah, you're totally right. Irakanji's presence in that last round of the P90 and CT Spawn was a long-range fight in either direction, up toward long or out toward mid. His role with that P90 must have been sit still. Let us get to the bomb site. Let us do the work. You lurk. And unfortunately, he got caught by Daze. So now, instead of being a, who knows, a 2-2 affair that went into something different looking completely, we have a 4-1 that's starting to pull away a little from the OEF team.
Yeah, even though they did get that bomb plant on the previous round, they had to save last round. So now they're finally working with their guns, and they do a quick flash out. And look at this. iBUYPOWER stacked B, and they could guess completely wrong.
Yeah, they did, but Skadoodle beat Irakanji on the shot. His M4A4 connected where his AK rifle did not. A shot through the smoke, and Skadoodle has dropped his opponent without ever even seeing him. Worth noting that we'll diagram this in just a little bit, that this Manajuma play has been used already. We saw this earlier in the playoffs with Complexity, a massive flashover with Deborn, or just the lead fragger, happened to be Irakanji that round, running backwards toward long, looking away from the site. As he turned the corner, it was a full-on rush in. Desi used the blue barrels, which I haven't seen since I began pubbing in Global Offensive. I can't believe it worked, and still, there's nothing left to be salvaged from that one. That's a really, really good way to find entry at long, and we'll never know if iBUYPOWER is prepared for that one until they use it again. I doubt it. Manajuma's playbook is very, very diverse. I don't think they'll go back to it a second time, but it certainly worked to a limited extent versus Cole as well. I really like that one.
I think we will see it again because, I mean, no one was at A when they used it just now, and I think they know this, so they'll probably implement it later in this half. But, I mean, you know, they had a good hold on A, and they actually had someone in mid watching for the rotates, but iBUYPOWER just did a nice peek with Skadoodle on the catwalk, I believe, while they were firing towards mid, and they just picked him up, and it just came easy for them from there on out.
A couple of errant shots by Swag will get him punished for his mistakes, but AZK will try to rectify his wrongdoings. And Shroud just lets AZK escape just a little bit here. Still, they'll get the bomb plant down. This is already a successful eco round, and the retake has to come in through some narrow spots. P250s are more than adequate here. If Deborn charges out, does some damage. Shroud pierces, finds AZK, and that is such highway robbery. AZK is upset now. One on the back of the site, one by the car, and the P250 is going to win that battle. 2 versus 1. Skadoodle's the last one left. He's got a 1-on-1. Excuse me, a 2 versus 1. That was a missed shot. Shroud will knock him out. That's an eco round win. Look at this. It's a 5-man Pug-style P250 rush that beats iBUYPOWER.
Yeah, AZK could have probably done a little bit better holding the B site right there. And either way, I mean, OEF, nice job getting into the site. And like we've said, you know, retaking B is pretty difficult. I mean, the entries into that site are very narrow, so it's kind of easy to hold down.
Oh,
oh wow.
You know what,
Skidoo.
Swag? Coming back across like that, not a great idea.
No.
Not a really good idea.
But we saw the op battles, and right now Miniker's up.
Steel flashed out by his teammate allowed him to push Deborn, but of course close nearby supporting him in T-spawn is Miniker, who dropped Steel 3 down for iBUYPOWER already, who are now facing uphill odds. And oh my god, Steel dies, right? And he dies to an open op shot by Miniker. And Shroud, who's comboed for the other 2 kills on the round, he's seen nobody. He killed Swag through the double doors, didn't see him. Last round killed AZK through doors, didn't see him. That kill just there, didn't see him.
Yeah, and you know that's going to be really frustrating for these guys, for him. I mean, when you get frustrated, you know, you kind of start going on tilt, so that's going to affect his play a little bit going into this. So that could be a good thing for OEF. Oh, Miniker.
Uncharacteristic close range miss. Still 2 versus 1. Tough for days. He's got an op, and the bombs tick to a point where I don't think he's going to try it. So what he's going to do is save in T-spawn, hold on to this bad boy of a iBUYPOWER op, and look to his left. Look to his left. Nope.
Yep, and that op's going to go right into the hands of Miniker. Oh, I don't think they get it. No, they didn't get it. Either way, Miniker's he's wealthy enough. He can pick up another op, but that's going to put him behind quite a bit, and he's going to go for it regardless.
I honestly believe that Shroud has like that internet meme troll face on his face right now. He's killed every kill he's made. I don't think he's seen anybody.
I know.
Look at the stack in mid. It's a charge through. They try to flash over, and everybody from OEF is already here. There's still one in the smoke to push. Nope, Steel just got caught, and there's going to be one more at the cubby of the staircase. Shroud will flick him. Skadoodle gets dropped, and it's the same story that we saw a round ago. A lot of T's alive, not a whole lot of CT's alive. Don't fight the CZs. They are the best guns in the game.
I'm surprised they decided to go try to stack mid, especially when you know Miniker is picking that double door. I mean, obviously they got the smoke down, so he wasn't too effective. But either way, when you know the terrorists know that when Miniker's picking, they're safe to go down mid quickly and to go cat quickly. So you saw two. I can't remember who it was, but one of them was up there, and they just annihilated iBUYPOWER as they came out the door and just kept continuing on to cat. So didn't work out too well for him right there.
No, it didn't. Here's the economic implications of this round. Yeah, iBUYPOWER can buy. Yeah, they're all right. They have the guns, and they even have an op. But if they lose this one, it's surely a save. So a 2-rounder, potentially, for OEF mounting up here. Ska's pushed up on the catwalk, and he flicks Irikaji, who was jumping in midair.
That was like a sliver shot. He was just behind the boxes, and Skadoodle somehow magically comes up with that shot. That was really nice.
And, you know, he ran back enough to make footsteps, let people know that I'm running back, but he's still up there. And we're going to stick with this fight because it's more important over at Bombsite B, but he's still up there on the top of the catwalk. How did Desi just... What?
Desi's immune to grenades, apparently.
What? He just had, like... He just used that X-Men power with the portals and stuff. Miniker flicked. Oh! Dazed is gone! For all intents and purposes, that was an easy kill for Dazed. And Miniker and Skadoodle are putting on a clinic of Opping 101. Just kidding, this is like Opping 800, the Masters class.
Yeah, the flick op shots coming out right now is pretty ridiculous. So, I mean, it is so entertaining to watch.
4 versus 4 and 37 seconds remaining. It'll turn into a split, a 3-1 with one guarding at the top of the catwalk, and this is the critical kill of the round. If Ska hits this, and Desi sort of knows that he's being lurked, if Ska hits this and doesn't turn around, uh-oh. They all got cut to pieces, all from the cross. 2 versus 3. Excuse me, it's just 1 versus 3. It's Shroud versus. He gets the bomb plant down. Is somebody going to try to jump him? Nobody's going to make any cute moves today. They'll just come up the ramp together, finish him off. It'll be 6-4, and I can't tell you how important that was for iBUYPOWER's economy.
Yeah, having the guy at elevator right there and having Skadoodle playing catwalk. I mean, they were both focused on Skadoodle wanting to get that op out of his hands, and the guy at elevator just peeked nicely, picked up 2 kills, and that swung the round in iBUYPOWER's favor. And now they're maintaining that lead by 2 rounds now. So, I mean, feeling good once again, getting that momentum back, and obviously this round's going to be important for OEF because, oh, never mind. Shroud has 10K, Desi has 6,200. So even if they lose, they could probably get some kind of force going after this round.
3-2 split in the 1.6 fashion. That'll turn probably into a 2-2-1 or a, well, not a 2-1-2. We can't necessarily determine it just yet. For the T's, it'll be a slow move to mid-control. You'll see the lower B player come to support the catwalk, and these long players perhaps move back out to palm if they don't find an entry here, but they do find an entry here, and D-Born's going to go for 2, but Daze is still there, and you have to know, if you're going to knock down Steel, and if he's in such an aggressive position, iBUYPOWER must be supporting him. That's just an assumption you have to make. If Steel's in a risky position, Dazed is also there. Dazed is shooting people through his smoke. He's still fighting. He's just gone down. So the trade out at mid for AZK is a lurk player. Don't do it, Ska. I really thought he was going to.
Yeah, and you talked about they need to be there to support him, which they were, but OEF smartly smoked off that corner and basically isolated Dazed in the pit right there all by himself. So they just had free reign going up against him.
Yurikanji thought he was being a sneaky mouse, but Swag just saw the top of his bandana coming up over the top of those barrels, so that'll leave Miniker by himself, and this will probably turn into a 7-4 lead.
Now, one thing I also wanted to note was how we talked about, you need to use your utility nades to isolate and move Skadoodle off his spots, which is actually very hard to do because Skadoodle never plays in the same spot each round. He's constantly in different spots, either watching long, watching corner at double doors, or he's playing cat or doing aggressive peeks on cat. So, I mean, he's one of those players where it's very hard to just, smoke off one spot and then he's kind of taken out of the picture.
Touchdown. Yeah, you're totally right. And on a map like this where you can be multiple in the locations of an op, there's no designated this must be our op spot, right? It's not Nuke where your opera has to be ramp or outer. It's not like that, and moving Ska around is a really, really tough thing because I think iBUYPOWER has to do some self-scouting, right? They realize that people are throwing smokes and flashes to move Ska off his spot, so they move him to cat, they move him to long, they move him to B, and it really, really messes with some teams' heads.
Yeah, and we just saw him right there going for the aggressive mid pick once again. And I mean, we got to say, thank God Miniker didn't have an op. Who knows what would have happened then?
Yeah. 3-2 on the split, including a far back long supporter back at the car, the number 5 man. That's Skadoodle. Miniker moving out toward mid, and we have a push through. D-Born had no idea. This keeps happening. You got to learn after the first time, right? They're going to do it again. Steel wants to make this an unfair fight. He's all about making this unfair fight. So he has a teammate flash him out, Daze specifically. And if you have a long controller there who's not prepared to flick a flashbang, it's all sad times. Notice that we have a double scope look for iBUYPOWER. We haven't emphasized this yet, but Swag has been looking to pick up that op early and often. And now that the money's building back up again, he'll be able to hold on to it. It's just clinical from iBUYPOWER thus far. So 8-4.
Yeah, that was Yurikanji who dropped into CT spawn, had an opportunity to pick up Dazed, I believe it was, but the spray wasn't with him right there. And I was going to say we should be seeing a save, but they're actually going for the force. You see 2 Galeels. Shroud was the only one who had enough to buy firmly and get all the nades that he needed, but they're going for it.
I almost thought we were going to have an AK pick fight versus an op. Would have been really impressed.
Well.
Would have been impressed. Look to your left, Desi. So they're moving Dazed around too. Not only are you having to deal with the maneuvering of Skadoodle, now Dazed is using himself as a support player in other locations, or even just an aggro push player. Even Steel, who is at long, because he's been so aggressive, they think, well, okay, let's leave them in the pit. So he moves himself over to catwalk, and the defensive playbook of iBUYPOWER is seemingly beginning to overwhelm open equal free. They need to slow down. Instead of going to their bunch looks, they need to go into a spread and look into a passive hold where they can get some people and vision everywhere, maybe like so.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, they're moving. iBUYPOWER is moving their players around effectively, but they're also playing aggressively. So I mean, if OEF just kind of looks for those pushes and picks these guys off, they could take advantage of that.
It's a detriment to Manajuma or OEF that their playstyle sort of makes them commit to very rigid schemes, and when you have people who are playing fluid as a countermeasure to your game, Swag makes an easy shot look like a tough miss there. AZK will trade himself. It's 2 versus 1. Shroud could clutch it, so let's drop that subject for just a bit here, because the individual gunplay of one special play could make this a huge clutch. 1 versus 1, he thinks Daze is behind him, and he could be right. Daze has just chosen to go back around toward mid. 20 seconds left. Shroud has to plant.
Yeah, he did guess correct, but then Daze was like, I think I'll go the other way. Do a little mind game here. But yeah, now he's got 10 seconds, so this is going to, I mean, I would imagine Daze is just going to charge him.
Yep. Oh my god! You could see that struggle wiggle by Shroud trying to get his AK out in time, but no deal. Shroud did a pretty admirable job of trying to salvage that round, but of course, there was no way to win that situation 9-4.
Yeah, and you saw Daves was actually disoriented coming out of that smoke. It took him a second to realize the plant spot, even though you know it's usually going to be in that guaranteed plant spot. But either way, he was, those smokes so powerful now.
Look for OEF to now spread out and go to a spread passive look to pick up pushers. Wait a little bit, get a little bit more information across the map instead of isolating a single portion and pushing in together for map control, because right now they're learning a tough lesson, which is iBUYPOWER is dictating the pace of this game. Look at that spam.
What? Yeah, that was...
There must have been gathered information there from T-Spawn saying that somebody's push, don't peek, somebody's push, don't peek. That sort of thing is going to be crucial for these teams to take the educated guesses and make the big plays purely off of guesswork at times, because we just, the meta. You kind of know what's going on.
And you know that they've been pushing pretty much.
Oh!
So, wow.
Desi hits a piercing headshot onto Swag while he was jumping with an op-out. No response from the CT side, but of course they've done so much damage. They dropped Desi down to 36, Minikir down to 4, that the trade is not that dramatic. So 58 seconds left. The bomb moves up in bunch formation toward A. This will not be a pick and roll. This is not going to be a bunch pick and roll. This is probably going to be a full commit. And it turns into an impromptu set piece. I love when Manajima can put together a 3-man set piece. It's very, very fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's Irakanji. I mean, he's a great strat caller, and we've seen him, time and time again. But look, they're about to get flanked right here.
Yeah, set piece or not, there's nobody in the site, so it's just going to be Rage Mode Steel versus everybody else. Here's a defuse. It's going to be 10-4, the best you could hope for now. 10-5 on the half, but let's not fret too much. OEF has their map coming up next, and you always try to give deference and advantage to the team who picked their own map, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, 10-5, I would probably be saying, you know what, OEF could probably come back here, but I mean, they're playing on the stronger side right now. So going into the CT side, I'd imagine that iBUYPOWER is more than likely going to pull this one up. I mean, we have seen comebacks where the T sides just don't work out how they should. So.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
11-4, your halftime score. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton, my partner is Klops. Thank you for joining us for the grand finals of the CEVO Professional Division. Thank you to our partners over at CSGO Lounge and Game Service for their services. Now we've got the story set perfectly for the epic comeback.
I actually realized I didn't give a prediction for this map.
You didn't. Would you like to I mean, it's going to be handicapped.
It's too late now.
Okay. It goes without saying that OEF.org's pistol round is going to pretty much determine whether or not they stay in contention for this map. 3-2 on the split. It's a condensed 3 up the catwalk now, joined by a 4th and a single lurk who is Swag, sitting inside of the B tunnels. He does not carry the bomb. The bomb is moving up catwalk and is actually in the hands of the entry fragger.
And they do have a smoke and a flash here on Skadoodle, so I mean, he could get those planted on the A-bomb site and maybe block off, isolate it a little bit to get that cat take going. But right now, I mean, I guess it looks like they're just kind of waiting, using, oh, no, Swag. I think they're using that sound bait, trying to let the CTs rotate back towards B, but...
Look at the movement. All the CTs are rotating in. They have to commit now. iBUYPOWER knows that their strat has been found out, and this one is unwinnable. Now that Manajuma's done their research and... Wow. Shroud.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I like how that one was a delayed effect for you. You're doing your comment like, oh, wow, I just realized that was an amazing shot.
So let's regather our thoughts here. 11-5, no bomb plant, so maybe you'll see an 11-7 at the end of this one, and then it's definitely a game. But it's a
major bomb plant on the from Manajuma, and they did for the quick buy.
Yeah, so but it's always about who pulls the surprise card the first.
They're actually doing the CZ armor buy, so yeah, we won't be seeing a buy till the 4th round, unless of course they do they anticipate these guys.
Oh, CZ destruction. Yeah. This is all over. Yep. Hearts are broken everywhere for the comeback hopes.
I'm grinning to myself right now because it's the CZ, man. Those things are just too freaking powerful. They make ecos come true so many times.
They do need to make them grossly expensive. The CZs have to be $800, $900, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 300 for a CZ is just kind of ridiculous.
Frankly, it's like the Deagle and the CZ should be interchangeable because they're both $800. They both should be $800.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, here comes the hunting party for Desi. You never see an eco round hunting for the last player of the buy team, but it just happened to work out that way. 12-5.
12-5, and yeah, they're gonna. Well, now OEF is gonna be on a full save here. So I mean, this, what looked promising for them going into this. I mean, iBUYPOWER completely squashed out with their eco right there, and now OEF is gonna struggle because they are probably gonna lose. Most likely gonna lose this one. Since they just have the clear gun advantage iBUYPOWER does, and we'll see though.
We shall see. 3, now 4 with the bomb, moving into bomb side B, and they'll be discovered. Call for the early rotate, and Desi will not be alive to see that rotate come through, so the number 7 man, Miniker, will be waiting at the doorway for his teammates to join him, and they'll try a pistol retake. With USPs, I just generally don't see it happening. With Miniker stepping into the window without his teammates, that's really, really not going to happen. So 2 left, it's just Shroud and Deep. Oh my god! Okay, 2 versus 3. Now 3 versus 1. And Shroud has a gun, so this is a definite save attempt from him, but good god. This kid aims good. And that's not even English, that's just, oh my god.
Yeah, he is pretty ridiculous with his shots. I don't think he's going to suspect swag coming around here, though, so he could potentially lose this AK right here.
Yeah, he's standing almost at the gap of the doorway here.
Oh, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good.
Surprise. 13-5.
Oh, I mean, they killed 2 people, still not that effective in the eco round. And you see they're realizing that, hey, we need to buy, we need to get a surprise and go in here. And they're going to do it. So you see 4 Famas being picked up, Deborn picking up that M4, and they're going to try to make something work. But Skadoodle has that op, and did he get that shot? No, he didn't. He missed it, and they know it, so they got to play really, really careful now.
Fast movement down mid. iBUYPOWER sees early mid control. They check the cubby. They can see the top of the beret of Shroud. Still, he turns with his FAMAS, wins 2 battles with it, and he's turned the fortunes of this round around. But if he peeks back out in that sliver, Ska is waiting. Don't do it. Don't you do it! Don't test him. He's just too fast.
It's when you're feeling good, you get that 2K, you go back and reload, and you feel like, yeah, man, I'm unstoppable right now.
This is an ace in the making, boys.
Yep, exactly.
Not so easy when Skadoodle sits at the sliver shot versus you and you have a FAMAS. AZK just gets wounded. I'm going to follow Desi for a second because he's about to trade if he can get his aim down. He's got it. 2 versus 2. OpenEqualFree.org definitely could use this round. Bomb goes down, is planted for long. Both players, I think, will try to cross, move back toward long. It looks like the number 5 man is going to just sit right there at the plat. Does that fire? Yes, it does. Skadoodle burning. And Skadoodle flash, so he, good lord. And a flick, no, Miniker versus 1. AZK has not a whole lot of health. He can tell Miniker that the defuse happens to be for a long plant, so he's going to look up and one-tap him. He'll get this defuse. He doesn't have a kit. It doesn't matter. 13-6.
Yeah, I thought it was very odd.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
You know what? You know how I know I've been playing too much matchmaking?
Because the incorrect bomb timer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, I thought it was odd that Skadoodle didn't go. I mean, I still think it was kind of a misplay by iBUYPOWER that Skadoodle didn't take the long position with AZK with being so low. Because, I mean, even though that is a hard shot to hit, you only need to hit 1 bullet on him to kill him. And you saw, I mean, it almost went into OEF's favor right there, but that bomb timer.
That bomb timer. It's a mismatched buy. That nade has fully stopped AZK. It's one of those huge mistakes in global offensive design, having a nade completely stop anybody coming out of doors like that. And AZK is the one who suffers. What are you doing, Shroud?
Shroud taking out all the stops right now, posting out that scout.
Well,
blood is in the water.
Hopefully that's just metaphoric. What, Eric Kanji? Okay. At that point, when you see that, you kind of know that they've put this map behind them. They've kind of phoned it in.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but I think also it was just a force spot because, you know, they were trying to force for the win rather than go into the tie. And now you see, I mean, they're down on money again. So, I mean, it's going to be another force, obviously, and only 3 FAMASes and 2 pistols. So, yeah, they were just, I think they were forcing there, even though Shroud did pick up a scout, which is, we don't really see Shroud scoping too often. So,
yeah. So the final opening for Team iBUYPOWER is a single T-spawn controller, 1 to the top of Palm, 2 to lower B to control, and 1 lurking. That's Swag lurking the B tunnels. He's been doing that consistently the entire game. It looks like it's his game plan, which is not what you typically see from... Oh my god. So many impressive flick shots here. So the B... Oh shoot, that'll be a double. You know what? It's a wrap to B. It's textbook. It's a perfect execution. And that's a foolish play. Irakanji tries to be the hero this round, and he just eats a chest full of AK rounds. The last one alive is Shroud. He can't win that one. That means map 1 goes to iBUYPOWER. Thank you all for joining us on CEVO TV. We'll be going to map 2 in just a moment.